Oh, yo, what's up? What's up? What's going on with y'all today on this Sunday? It's a little chill out here today, so I got my little sweatshirt on today out here. Uh, my bad, y'all, for yesterday. My video cut out for some reason. I guess it got too long on me. So, I just decided to make this a part two. Uh, my unexplained mysteries or unexplained events or things that's done happened in my life. Some trippy stuff or whatever. Stuff that was unexplained, basically. What was I at yesterday? Talking about the bird. So, anyway, after I finished the meditation and all, my cousin, he had came home. So he went upstairs, and he came back downstairs. I'm still in the kitchen. He came back downstairs and went outside, went out the back door. And he came back in and went back upstairs. So I'm thinking, like, what cuz doing? You know. And so he was up there a couple minutes. And all of a sudden, he hollered downstairs, cuz. I like, yeah. He said, man, go outside and scare that bird away and keep knocking on the little thing or whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, bird. I know what he was talking about. It was the sound, the little tapping sound or whatever that I was hearing throughout the whole meditation. And now that I think about it, the sound started, probably 15, 10, well, about 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes before I even started that meditation, because I forgot I had started the meditation and I was about 5 minutes into it, and the tapping noise kept getting on my nerves or whatever, and I kept hearing it. So I ended up coming out of the meditation and started back up. So that's when I was like, well, I just, make believe like it's part of the traffic or whatever, the noise, and block it out. Excuse me, and still do my meditation. So it had started knocking, it had started tapping or whatever 5 minutes or so before I even started the meditation, because it messed me up, throughout the meditation. 5 minutes into the meditation, I had to come out of it. So anyway, I went, toward the back door, whatever, and I opened the door up and looked up to the right, and just show it was a blackbird, it was a crow, I believe it was, but it just flew off. As soon as I looked up at it, it flew off. So I'm sitting there just staring at the bird the whole time, like in a wild sense, like, wow, what just happened? And so my cousin, he came down. He came out the back door. He was like, did you get it, or what? Did you scared? I said, yeah. I said, man, cuz, that was a bird, man. He said, yeah. He said, well, I was telling you. He said, I came down the first time and scared it away because it kept knocking. He said, by the time I got back upstairs, it had came back and started back tapping again. I said, cuz, I said, that was a bird, man. Because he don't know the vision I just had about, the bird hitting the window and all of that or whatever. So I said, that was a bird, man. So he was like, yeah. I said, man, I was just sitting here a while ago before I did my meditation. And a vision came to my mind that what if a bird came and flew and hit this window and fell on the ground? What would I do to show you, what I'm saying, that what had just happened or whatever? For my vision, and the bird hit the window, whatever. And I said to myself, well, I was telling him, I said that I would get a bucket, and I pointed down, what I see, like in my vision, I pointed down towards what the bucket was in my vision. And just to show, when I pointed it, I said, I grab a bucket and put it over the bird, and I pointed down where the bucket was in my vision. And sitting right there in that exact spot where I saw in my vision, me picking this bucket up, putting it over the bird, it was a bucket sitting right there. And it was the same color that I saw in my vision. It was a gray bucket, like a little gray mop bucket or whatever. But the thing was, I never knew a bucket was right there. You see what I'm saying? So I saw all this stuff in my mind. I never knew a bucket was there. And then with the bird itself, the bird, it was a crow. Now, hummingbirds, they hover. They can hover or whatever when they fly, but no crow, blackbird or whatever, it don't hover. You see what I'm saying? And it was tapping, and birds, when they tap or they peck on something, it's mostly wood. This bird was tapping on like a piece of steel, or something like that, like something from the vent, a part of the vent or something like that. And at the same time, it wasn't, when I looked up there, it wasn't nothing up there that that bird could have been sitting up on, to sit there and keep tapping on that piece of steel long as it did. The meditation, like I said, was like 45 minutes long. So take the 45 minutes plus the 5 minutes or so that it started before, I started the whole meditation. That bird sat up there for basically an hour. And I heard the bird pecking throughout the whole meditation. Like I say, I was just blocking it out, but I heard it pecking the whole time. I'm thinking it was the people next door hammering, little pictures or something on the wall or whatever, because they had just moved in. But the whole time, it was a bird sitting right there pecking on that steel piece the whole time. Now, I don't know what it symbolized. I don't know if it was telling me, if it was, trying to stop me from doing the meditation or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was just strange to me that a crow would be just sitting there pecking on a piece of steel on the side of the house, right, apartment right there. That was crazy. So, and then also, now this meditation here, the bird meditation. Now I think about it, it was my second meditation of this silver method course. So the first meditation, I skipped that yesterday. I'm gonna get to that one. Now the first meditation, I couldn't wait. The course, you order the course and they'll send it in the mail. But when you order it online, they're going to unlock it if you want to go and get started right away. You can go and get started right away before the actual course coming to the mail. So I couldn't wait that night to get to the house and start the meditation up. So when I get in, I start setting up the laptop or whatever. I went on there and pulled up the course or whatever, setting up the meditation. So right before I was getting ready to meditate, I had to use the bathroom. So I went into the little bathroom or whatever, and cuz had some little short pants and shirts and stuff. I don't know if he was getting ready to wash clothes or what, but he had some clothes all on the floor or whatever. So when I walked into the bathroom, I stepped on one of the short pants that was on the floor, and I felt something up under my foot, which was up under the short pants. So when I lifted the short pants up to see what it was I was stepping on, it was a button. Those round buttons that you can pin on your shirt. They might have anything on them. I love New York or anything on the little round buttons that you pin on your shirt. Well, it was one of those buttons. Now, out of everything or out of anything that could have been on that button when I lifted up, and I knew it was meant for me because the way I felt, the chills that went through my body when I lifted up and saw it and read what it said. But it was a blue button, and it had white writing on it. And the only thing that was on there, this was and I was like, I couldn't wait to get into this meditation, started up. You know what I'm saying? If I've always dreamed about, I always wanted to tap into the psychic thing and all of that, and I was really into it. You see what I'm saying? So if I had dreams or there's something that I always wanted to do, and this course is telling me that I actually can do these things, you can imagine how I felt. As far as wanting to hurry up and get going, get started with this course. So I walked in the bathroom and I noticed I had stepped on something up under the short pants. So when I lifted up, it was a button, and the only thing the button read in white letters, it was a blue button, read in white letters. It said, "Trust Jesus, Jesus only," with an exclamation mark at the end of it. And like I say, I know it was meant for me because chills just went through my body when I read it. Out of anything this button could have said, knowing what I was getting ready to do at that time, tap into my mind, some places that I hadn't went in my mind before. You see what I'm saying? But, with the Jesus, at the time, I was in a different place, than where I am now. I was green to all of this. It was fresh to me. So when you speak of Jesus, that's what, as Americans, we was taught to, trust Jesus or whatever. So I guess it felt that would resonate with me on this spiritual tip that would resonate with me by me reading this button, and it's reading, it's saying that, trust Jesus, Jesus only. Now, what I'm saying, as far as the Jesus part, I don't, I don't really get into the names and all of that, because I know it's got a lot to do with man, and I feel like man done tampered with the Bible and all at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you ask me, if it was a person on this earth, whether male or female, if it was a person that walked this earth that could do the miracles that they say Jesus done in the Bible, then you ask me, I would, looking at my life and the experiences and stuff I done had throughout my life, I would say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? All of those things that it say Jesus done, yeah, I believe that it was a person on this earth that could do those things. But whether the name was Jesus or not, I don't know that. I can't just say yeah because I read it, or because if that's what I've been told all my life. I can't say that was the name of the person that walked this earth that done these things. And then I also know that the Hebrew language was the first language. It's the original language. And back then, it wasn't even a J in the Hebrew language. You see what I'm saying? Even to the day, I believe it's not a J in the Hebrew language. So whether the name was Jesus or not, I don't know that. I can't say that. So I can't sit and tell y'all that that's a fact, because that's just something that we've been taught all these years. But if you ask me if it was a person that walked this earth, or male or female, that walked this earth and done these miracles that they say Jesus done, walked on water and all that, I would say, yeah, me personally, yeah, I believe that. You see what I'm saying? So, but it know that would resonate with me. And it knew that I was getting ready to tap into parts of my mind that I had never gone before. You see what I'm saying? So it knew by me reading that button that it would resonate with me. Now, and it also knew know about perception. So at that point in my life, maybe I wouldn't have perceived it the way I would perceive it right now. You see what I'm saying? So back then I might have perceived it on something different, and it took me somewhere else that I didn't want to go. You see what I'm saying? So it's telling me to trust that side over anything. You see what I'm saying? So that was the day before the bird situation. That happened that night, matter of fact. That happened that night with the button. The very next day, uh, the incident with the bird happened. And when was it? I think it was 1 or 2 days after that. I was okay. I was getting ready to go to Rome. Now back then, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was in the street. I was doing my thing. I was hustling. Selling whatever, whatever. you know, and I don't knock what I done, because everything that I've done led me up to this point where I'm at right now. So it's all stuff that I had to experience and go through in my life. So I don't knock what I done. I ain't gonna say I'm proud of it or nothing like that, but like I say, it's a process that I had to go through in my life to get to where I'm at right now. But I was coming up the Rome. I was driving up the Rome to go make a little play with somebody, right? And I had I had met him over on Short Avenue. I had met him in Chick-fil-A parking lot right there. I had one play right there, and then I had to go to the projects out in West Rome and meet somebody else. Just being straight up, being honest. And also, like I say, the things that I went through, I believe I had to go through that street life and hustling and all of that for a reason, because it's still, cats that I came up with that's still out there. So I believe that, you know, I would I would resonate with them better, being that I've experienced those things that they going through still right now, about hustling and all of that. So I believe I had to go through that for a reason, because I'm the one that's sent, it's just finna be sent to, to talk to them and get them on a different page or whatever. So anyway, I had so I went to Chick-fil-A to meet this guy. I met him and all, and hey, how y'all doing? All right. So I met him and all. So it didn't take long, maybe, a couple minutes or whatever. And I got back in the car, getting ready to go towards, West Rome Projects. Now, it was, it wasn't pouring down rain or nothing. It was a little drizzle rain coming down or whatever. Something that you barely even got to turn your windshield wipers on for. So I'm going the back way to go to the projects. And y'all don't know the streets or whatever, but I'm going the back way to go to the projects. So I ended up right there at that stop sign right there at not Lavender, but John Davenport is right there. And I stopped right there. So all of a sudden, but well, before that, before I got to that street, going the back way, all of a sudden, when I left Chick-fil-A, all of a sudden it just started pouring down raining, like raining cats and dogs. Like I had to turn my windshield wipers on full blast, and it still wasn't doing no justice with how much rain was coming down all of a sudden, just in a matter of seconds once I left Chick-fil-A parking lot. So I get on around there. I'm driving slow because I can't drive fast. I'm going 5, 10 miles per hour, the little back road or whatever. So I pull up right there at the stop sign right there where Lavender. I'm not Lavender. I keep saying Lavender. Right there where John Davenport is at the stop sign right there. And it's pouring down raining. So I couldn't go no farther because I couldn't see. So I'm just sitting there, you know, and all of a sudden the wind picked up hard. So I'm like, man, what's going on? So I said, man, I hope I ain't in no tornado or nothing. So by that time I looked to the right side, on the passenger side window, and I see a big tree branch or whatever. It wasn't no twig. You know how a twig or something the wind might catch the twig or something, and it just blow it on or whatever. This wasn't no twig. This was like a nice sized tree branch, and that thing went beside me, past my car, like it had wheels on it. So when I seen it, I'm like, man, what's going on? I said, man, I hope I ain't in no tornado. I said, God, please don't let me be in no tornado. Please don't let me be in no tornado. So at this time, a van was coming off of John Davenport, getting ready to make the left onto the street that I was on. So it made the left or whatever, and it might have went a car length past me, and then it stopped because it couldn't see no more itself. So it stopped. So all of a sudden, I started feeling the car shake a little bit. I'm like, God, please don't let me be in no tornado, please. So for some reason, the people that was in the van, they backed back towards me, like they wanted to talk to me or whatever. It's pouring down raining outside now. So we sitting there, and at the time my window was messed up. So if I needed to talk to anybody out of my window, whatever, I had to actually open the door because my window had come off track or something a while ago. It had come off track, so it wouldn't roll up or down. So I had to open the door up. So when I opened the door up to see what the dude wanted, it was two dudes, one driving, one in the passenger side. So when I opened the door up, my door swung out, like, and I had to hold it, and I pulled it in and shut it back real hard. And in that little length of time, in a matter of seconds, so much water came into the car. It was crazy. So so at that time I'm just sitting there. I'm just hoping I ain't in no tornado. And all of a sudden, the guy, I don't know what he did it for, but the guy on the passenger side, he got out and ran behind the van and got right there to the driver's side, to the back of the van on the driver's side where the brake light would be at. And I'm like, what is he doing getting out the car? So when he got right there at that point behind the van, all of a sudden, a big old boom happened, and the sky just went flash, a big flash of light in the sky. What had happened was lightning had hit a transformer on the telephone pole right above the van where the van was at. Lightning had hit the transformer and it blew, and the whole sky just lit up, and it was just so much rain and gloomy and cloudy that you couldn't see nothing. So he ran back and got in the thing. So the whole time I'm saying, I hope it ain't no tornado. I hope it ain't no tornado. All of a sudden, the tornado siren came on, to alert everybody that it's a tornado in the area or whatever. So I said, oh gosh, I'm in a tornado. I'm in a tornado. All of a sudden, my car just got to rocking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So where I was at, it was a house on the left side. So whatever debris or whatever that would be coming back my way towards my car, the house would block it, in other words. So I couldn't go nowhere because I couldn't see, 5, 10 feet in front of me. I couldn't see nothing. So, and my plan was just to stay there and just ride it out. Now, keep in mind, I'm relying on my mind. I'm tapping in and all this. So I'm listening to my mind. The first thing my mind tell me was to get out and run. I said, I can't get out and run. It's a tornado going on out here. So it said to, to pull off or whatever. And I'm thinking I can't pull off because I can't see in front of me. So the third thing that popped in my mind, it said just sit here and just ride it out and brace yourself. Your car get the flipping or whatever, just brace yourself and just hope you make it out of it or whatever. So I said, I'm just gonna sit here. So my plan was to just sit there. So all of a sudden the van, it panicked or something. So it started backing back onto the street that it just left off of. Were trying to anyway, to back onto the street it just left off of. So when I seen that, I panicked a little bit. So I hit the gas trying to block them. You know what I'm saying? Cause really they were fitting to dip on me. I didn't want them to leave. I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want them to leave and leave me right there by myself. So I went forward to try to block them, but not realizing I couldn't see in front of me. So I was already out onto the street. Anything, a car, a truck, anything could have been coming down that street at the time and towed me up because I didn't even realize I was already a lane out into the street already. So when I saw that, I just panicked. Some said, just stomp the gas. So I just stomped the gas. I made a left and stomped the gas. And I started going up the street or whatever. Man, it was like one of them twister moves or something. It was all kind of debris and stuff flying all in the air. Everything flying around me, and I'm dodging stuff in the street, whatever, going around stuff just falling into the street. Telephone pole, I seen it, everything. The telephone pole broke, and the power line was going across the street. So had I kept going and not really seen the power line, it probably took the roof of my car off. That's how low it was. But in the nick of time, as I was approaching the power line, I saw it and I started patting the brakes because by that time the van, it was a car coming behind me. I don't even know what happened to the van, but it was a car. That might have been what was behind me, but I know I seen some lights behind me. It was a car, and so I start patting the brakes or whatever to alert them that I'm finna stop or whatever. So I did that and I stopped and went around the power line and took on off going up toward the red light. As soon as I got to the red light, everything was over just like that. I looked, it was a police officer right there at the red light directing traffic. I look over there, it was a truck. It had flipped over. Then right there at the red light, right across the street, it was a big old oak tree. It had come up from the roots. It didn't break nothing. It came up from the root, the whole tree. It seemed like the tree been there for years. But the whole tree came up from the root and fell over. Then I looked to the left and there was a brick building right there that was always there for years. The building looked like it exploded. I'm talking about it was red bricks all in the street and everything. And when I saw all of that, and the police directing the traffic. So when I saw all of that, that's when I started shaking. My knees and all that started shaking. So I was like, man, I was in a real tornado, just like that. So to me, it was like the universe was showing me its power. You see what I'm saying? Now, out of all of that stuff that I saw, I came up out of it without a scratch on me. My car, I don't even know if my car had a scratch on it. So to me, it was like it was showing me its power right there. And man, it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, all of this happened within the same week. First day, I went in the bathroom and saw the button. The next day, the whole bird situation happened. Then the day or two after that, I'm in a tornado. And where I stay, Rome, Georgia, we don't get no tornadoes too much down here. And people always said that we surrounded by 7 hills, home of the 7 hills. So people always said that if Rome ever get a tornado, it's going to tear something up in here because the tornado is going to bounce off of those hills and it's going to basically be trapped off in here and tear up some stuff. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like out of anywhere this tornado could have been in Rome, and out of anywhere I could have been in Rome, how did I wind up on the same street? And I wasn't even staying in Rome at the time. I was just coming up, back and forth to Rome doing my little thing or whatever. I wasn't staying in Rome at the time. So how did I end up in the exact spot that this tornado took place? And I come out of it without a scratch on me. You see what I'm saying? So that was another thing that took place with me that tripped me out. Like, how did all this stuff happen to me? So fast forward. Oh man. My bad. I dropped my water. Fast forward. Okay. Now going back to the young female that I told you that initially started wanting to practice with me, doing the colors and all. I told her about the whole situation that happened with the bird and the button and with the tornado and all. So at this time, I think I was in my daddy's backyard. I was in the car in my daddy's backyard talking to her on the phone. So she was like, she wanted to do something different. She wanted to go a little deeper. She wanted to go a little deeper than the colors and numbers and stuff. She said, and I was like, me, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to stick with the colors and all. And I didn't want to do it. I want to stick with the colors. She said, no, she said, I believe that, you can do more than what you think you can do, but your confidence ain't up. You got to build your confidence up. And she said, I believe you can do more than what you think. So I said, all right, man, we can try something different or whatever. So she said, I'm thinking of an animal. She said, I always wanted to be this animal or whatever. She said, I just always wanted to be this animal. If I was an animal, this is the animal that I would want to be or whatever. So, I get 3 chances still. So I said, all right, let's do it. So I close my eyes and start calming down in the inside. So all of a sudden, in my mind, I thought about what I think about first. I think it was my sign, Leo. I said, is it a lion? Well, no, I think it was her sign first, which I forgot what her sign was, but I mentioned her sign, and she was like, nah, that ain't it. So I'm like, okay. So I thought about my sign, Leo. So I said, is it a lion? She said, no, that ain't it either. So now I'm uptight now because I done got 2 of them wrong and I get 3 chances. So now I'm just trying to find anything that pop up in my mind. So I said, is it a reindeer? Is it a deer? And she was like, no. So that was the 3rd time. I just get 3 chances. And she like, no. I said, man, no, man. I said, I got to get one more chance, man. I got to get one more turn. So she like, all right, I'll give you one more turn. So I sat there. I got real calm. Calmed down, took a deep breath in, exhaled out. And I just sat there for a second. And all of a sudden, I opened my eyes. And as soon as I opened my eyes, a red bird flew on the tree limb or whatever. And I was just staring at it. And something said a bird. So, man, there go a bird right there. Something said a bird. And man, a bird right there. So I come out of, I said, is it a bird? And she said, yep, that's what it is. I said, wow. And as soon as I said, is it a bird? The red bird flew away. As soon as I said, is it a bird? And she said, yeah. And it flew away. So she said, let's do another one. I said, all right. She said, I'm thinking of a state. A state. You got 50 states or whatever. She said, I'm thinking of a state. She said, it's a state that I used to live in when I was a little girl or whatever. She said, and we ended up moving. And she said, I always wanted to go back to this state. She said, if I would move somewhere else or whatever, that's where I would move to or something like that, she was saying. So she wanted me to pick the state that she was, thinking of in her mind or whatever. So I closed my eyes. So all of a sudden, she said, I can see the state. She said, I can see the size of it. I can see the shape of it and all this. So she picturing this state in her mind. So I done closed my eyes and I'm trying to, think of what the state is. So off the rip, for some reason, Cleveland, Ohio popped in my mind for some reason. So uh, so I kept that in my mind. And after that, the second state came up. She said, I can see the shape of it or whatever. So when she said shape, my mind started thinking about New Orleans, Louisiana, New Orleans, because of, it's shaped like a boot. So that was in my mind. I hadn't said no state to her yet. That was just floating around in my mind. So, so all of a sudden, I started seeing, like I say, from the right side, from the right side, it started coming up. And all of a sudden it was, facing like my right peripheral. I saw the shape and I saw the name of the shape of the state. Now keep in mind, all of this going on, it seemed like a long time, but I narrowed down out of 50 states or whatever, I narrowed down to 3 states within a matter of 60 seconds or so, you know. So she said, so the state popped up. It said it was California. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at 3 different states in my mind. California, New Orleans, California, Louisiana, and Ohio. So all of a sudden, Ohio started fading out of the picture. I didn't see it as vivid no more that I did the other 2. So eventually it was gone. And so I was going back and forth, California, Louisiana, California, Louisiana. So all of a sudden, I would see California, California, Louisiana, Louisiana. So I started seeing California a little more than Louisiana. And then eventually, Louisiana started fading out of the picture. And I didn't see it no more. So I opened my eyes or whatever. I said, man, is it California? And she said, yep, California. It was California. I got it right. I said, man, so I'm tripping. So she said, okay. She said, let's go a little deeper now. I said, all right. So I was cool with going a little deeper. She said, tell me something that I used to do when I was a little girl. She said, I used to love doing this when I was a little girl or whatever. She said, the family would go out and we would all do it or whatever. So I closed my eyes and all. And for some reason, I seen a big old tree, and I seen him out, out around the tree or whatever. So my mind was like, they was out there picking something or whatever, I thought. So I come out of it. I say, is it picking apples? It was something that just popped in my mind. I said, is it picking apples? And she was like, nah, that ain't it. She said, so she got to saying, she said, I can see myself doing it now and this and that. So I got deeper. I closed my eyes again. I inhale, exhale, and sat there. And all of a sudden, it was like I was standing afar. Like I could see everything that was going on, but I was like afar, just watching everything. But I could see some grass, that tall wheat grass, and it come up to about like your knees or whatever. Right at your knees or whatever, that high grass, high stringy grass or whatever. So I seen all the grass or whatever, first of all. Then I was looking and I saw a little black girl with a white dress on. So I'm sitting there looking at the little girl or whatever. I don't know what she doing at the time. I'm just looking at her. And then I look up into her face and I see her eyes is looking up. So I follow her eyes looking up. And as I look and follow her eyes looking up, I noticed it was a kite in the sky. The little girl, I don't know if the little girl was her, how she looked when she was young or what, but I saw a kite in the sky. So it came to me, it was